Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is time to start our playthrough of Soul Reaver 2. Normally, I don't do an intro like this, but I've got some good news and I got some bad news. So, good news, Soul Reaver 2, while an improvement on Soul Reaver 1 in gameplay aspects, it's also has a lot more lore and story focus. So I was able to cut out a lot of the fluff so we can really enjoy the story together, as well as, some explanations from me that because I know the history of the game. So I hope you guys will enjoy my commentary as we go through this game. Bad news, I kind of messed up when I was doing my live stream of the game. And normally when I live stream, I also record it so that way I can edit it a little bit better and mess with the audio because sometimes the stream audio is not as good as it could be. Unfortunately, I never hit the record button. So the audio for this playthrough is a little bit weird, but I hope you guys will still enjoy it. I hope you guys will still check it out. This is episode 1, and it gets crazy right from the get-go. Enough from me. Let's jump in and check it out. Oh yeah, I forgot this one has an opening. Oh, it looks decent. It looks decent. A little fuzzy.
I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd
Good.
be here sooner.
Up the volume a little bit.
Did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
I forgot how good this looked.
Humanity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom
The true power of knowledge.
to know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods?
Yeah, we had this whole conversation at the end of last stream, or before we went into the boss fight.
As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
Basically, he's all fatalistic and all about destiny.
I found the tomb of Samuel Kain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel. And
No.
his enemies even closer.
I'm trying to put it a little higher without overpowering my voice too much. Oh, that looked weird.
To serve me than those whose passion
It's looking weird.
notions of good and evil.
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nazgul from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are open, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
Duh.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic?
I remember not knowing what altruistic meant back when I first watched this.
Don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours.
So this is empowering it up.
You nearly had me, Raziel.
This cutscene, I would say, looks worse than
This is not where
the Soul Reaver 1 opening cutscene looked.
fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds. Completely.
I mean, it kind of makes sense considering the first game was a PS1 game that they remastered, whereas this was a PS2 game. So this one already didn't look too bad. And of course, the Soul Reaver. It does sound good though.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah.
And there's Mobius.
Time span soul, welcome to your destiny.
which is exactly how the last game ended. So we're taking off right from there.
Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more.
That scepter's important.
Very well, you old snake.
It looks good.
If you'd prefer I use my bare hands.
The texture on Raziel's
This is completely
scarf looks great.
unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
You should.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain. Some 30 years from now.
You two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
I recently
How is it
watched.
that you know my name? We have never met.
I recently watched the cutscenes to this game, just
I know
because
you very well.
I love the story.
It grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you.
So to hear all this
I
again,
knew you when you were
just
one of the
makes me
Sarah
happy.
Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Volador?
Yep.
The scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
That becomes important later.
The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me, sir?
Slander.
Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source.
Mobius looks good.
Judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then. But consider an alliance based on our common ground.
Kind of looks like wow.
Dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes. You're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you.
Alright.
Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars.
Pillars are still standing in this time.
Now you guys get to see what the pillars are supposed to look like.
They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision.
The future where everything's falling
His
apart.
existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel. and end this.
He is trying so hard.
But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
He basically doesn't care if we kill his people. Asshole. Alright, so a couple things to let you guys know
Alone now,
right from the beginning. Oh, he's still going.
and noticed a second time streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I had not yet discovered.
Alright, so we're in the past, by the way. So, Nosgoth is still in pretty good condition here. Oh yeah, we can block now? What? Hold on, they actually have like... They added to the combat system. Okay, we can't block power attacks. Can you die? That was new. I don't remember him having finishers like that in this game. But now we have a sword. We got launchers. Alright. Oh my god, we cut off his head. Okay, that's definitely new. Souls look a little weird too. I don't know if I like that. Oh, speaking of the Reaver.
Influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
That's the Reaver becomes really important in this game. Because I thought I could pass through here, but it didn't let me. Oh, never mind.
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me.
Vertigo means
It
dizziness.
seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William.
So this is a huge deal.
Here as the martyr and catalyst of Mobius.
Oh, I can't pause it word. Okay, we can talk about this. All right, so that mural in the background shows William fighting Kain. So I talked about this when we were playing through the last game. Kain in Kain's timeline, there was a tyrant named the Nemesis who was basically rampaging through all of Nosgoth, just going to war, killing people, and it got to the point where he became too powerful and took over Nosgoth. So in order for Kain to take over, Mobius tricked him into going back in time and going and killing William the Just. William the Just was a boy king that was beloved. He eventually grew up to be the Nemesis. But because Kain went back in time and killed him, everybody just saw it as a vampire killing their beloved king. And that's why everybody hates vampires in the current timeline now. He basically rewrote time.
I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire. How Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth.
That.
And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible.
Big deal.
Of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, As the Wraith Blade uncoiled
So we have, you know, the soul of the Reaver in our arm, but then there's also the soul right in front of us.
itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade, embracing its twin, its mirror self. The Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused, and for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade.
Yep, he fixed it.
But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered,
Look,
I realized we were
he fixed it.
bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
I love the way that he did. It's just written the way he talks about it.
Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
So you guys will notice right now that Mobius is actually like super scared, and there's a real big reason for it. I'm not gonna tell you guys, but it'll get explained.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Kill him.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You
Oh, the vibrating is like hurting my eyes.
an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough.
Yep.
As you said, death comes for us all.
Ooh,
The wheel of fate demands it.
that.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate, the inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel.
He's referring to the elder god that resurrected us.
To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
He just straight threw the Soul Reaver on the floor.
Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
He's still going. He talks so much.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the spirits of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
Basically, look, it drained like all the strength we have, which is funny because they actually did it like mechanically. So basically, those runes that we got in the first game that increased our health, the Reaver just drained all of our health back to normal, to like 0. to restore the Soul Reaver. But now, normally the Reaver used to only come out when we were at full health. Now we can call it whenever we want. But now it has a whole new mechanic where if we let it feed on too many souls, it goes crazy and drains our health. So we gotta be careful with it. So I'll show you guys what I mean about the soul mechanic real quick. So, see the bar over my health? And now see that soul that I would normally eat? The Reaver ate it. And then it slowly drains over time. Yes, this is where, alright, so this is where we get a look at all of his brothers as Seraphan.
How my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Seraphan brethren and myself. All of us martyred here. And then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his
Terrell.
our noble corpses.
And it turns out Raziel was the leader.
I beheld the image of my Seraphan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become, and a profound sense of injury, of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Oh, more people. Alright. Nom. Easy. I'll run through the mules real quick so you guys can see who's who. Alright, so real quick. You guys remember Malkaya? There he is. Malkaya was the big ugly one. Where's Zafan? Zafan was the spider one. Rahab was the fish one. And then Duma. Why he has a whole vampire behind him, I have no idea. And then, of course, Terrell was the brother that we never got to in the last game. Alright, so now we gotta get up top.
I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. And if Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
God, it's so sensitive. And of course I missed. Oh, you bitch. God, some of the fights are gonna be annoying in this game. I'm gonna take our axe spear thing. So yeah, this is one aesthetic choice I actually like because of their crusade against vampires. Hold on, you're new. I don't remember you. You actually get to see like vampire corpses just littered around everywhere.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kain's derelict empire. They seem to retain much of their former humanity.
Look at that, like stabbed in the eye and shit.
Vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
Yeah, they were basically butchers. I'm gonna lower the music. So, obviously, Kain's empire, those vampires had evolved. They were much harder to kill, much more powerful, and all total dicks. In the early days, you know, Kain's original timeline and all that, vampires were just people trying to live their lives. And did I go the wrong way? I think I got turned around, yeah. On to the next area.
Nosgoth.
All right, this is a big deal as we're going to walk to this. So the Pillars of Nosgoth. You guys remember, in the last game, they were destroyed. They were basically broken stumps, and Kain literally built his throne on top of the Pillar of Balance. Now you guys get to see what they actually supposed to look like.
Pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld it in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
Canker is crazy. And now he's ready to just straight up attack him.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Kain. Though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trolls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Kain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The
will
will
of
of
Raziel.
Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Kain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase.
This is an important conversation.
We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Kain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Oof.
Watch me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen.
This is one of the most important conversations in the game.
Is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here.
Alright, so Ariel was the ghost from the last game, the one that was haunting the Kain's throne room, and would give us little clues here and there. Being that we can't play Blood Omen 1, because obviously they didn't remaster Blood Omen 1, I'm going to try to give you guys some context so you guys understand what's going on. So, if you guys didn't watch my last playthrough, I explained it. All these pillars basically hold the world together, and each of them has a guardian that they're symbiotically connected to. And the guardian of the main pillar, the balance pillar, was just killed. And her soul comes here. Now, when the guardians are killed, they're supposed to be immediately reincarnated. So when she died, that was the moment Kain was born, as he is the current balance guardian.
You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As
What?
Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
Yep. But look at this. Bam.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me.
So Nupraptor was the guardian of the mind. He was in love with Ariel. He is the one who finds her dead, and being that his powers are based in the mind, he loses his shit because he thinks it was an inside job, and because all of the guardians are connected, it infects all of them, thus in turn infecting their pillars. Even when Kain is just born, it infects him as a baby too. That's why he was basically such a dick his whole life.
The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Kain? You're merely the last man standing.
Ariel sent him to kill the other Guardians, so new ones could be born.
Out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself.
Let's drop the moral.
I know I've paused it a million times, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know what's going on. So the first game, when Kane's looking for a cure for vampirism, she sends him on basically an assassination mission to kill all of the Guardians, so that way new ones can be born. And then at the end of the game, the last Guardian to be killed was supposed to be him, so a new balanced Guardian could be born as well. And he ends up stuck with a choice that's gross. The canon choice is that he chooses not to die and basically creates his vampire empire. The other choice is actually the alternate ending of the first game, where he basically sacrifices himself and saves all in Nosgoth.
Posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest.
When I was a kid watching this scene, I didn't understand half of what I know now.
30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius
Yep.
made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance.
See,
boundless.
there's a key point Raziel's missing here.
There's a third option. A monumental secret hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Kain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so.
Mm.
But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
There's a reason Raziel's the main character. He's got that main character plot armor. He's literally plot armor of the character, and you'll see what I mean as the game evolves.
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Kain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Kain after he had valued me so little, and yet I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn. But if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
You see the hand holding with that one? They basically want me to shift to the Spectral Realm right there. But hold on, I want to see something real quick. All right, guys, that is it for episode 1. We finally ran back into Kain. We saw the pillars of Nosgoth get corrupted. We saw a lot of really, really interesting things. We saw the change to the Soul Reaver. And the idea of being able to change fate is going to get crazy in this game. So again, I hope you guys will come back for the playthrough. Normally I would have the outro at the end, cut out some audio, change up the audio, but I can't do that because of what I said at the beginning of the video. But I hope you guys will still come and hang out for this playthrough. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to see me do some gaming live, next gaming stream will be Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're playing some more Genshin Impact, and I would love to have you guys here with me for that. That is it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.